Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, and today we are going to be reviewing the L'Oreal Age Perfect Creamy Powder Foundation. Now, if you watched my previous video where I reviewed about 5 different products from this new L'Oreal Age Perfect makeup collection, I'll go ahead and link that for you right here if you'd like to go and watch it. I had said that I was really intrigued by this creamy powder foundation, and let me just tell y'all, I have never worn a powder foundation ever in my life. So I am a novice to this. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what the norm is, but creamy powder foundation, I was like, creamy powder? Could this be the first powder foundation that I actually like? Because I think they all look too matte for me. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be reviewing this completely on its own on my skin. We'll be doing a full day wear test, giving it a good 12 hours of wear. That's right, I said 12 hours of wear. And so you definitely want to stay tuned because I will be showing you application. I'll be also showing you if we have any flashback with it, and then of course showing you what it looks like at the end of the day. So stay tuned. But before we get into this video, I just want to say, hey girl, hey, okay? Thank you so much for stopping and clicking on my video and taking time out of your day to spend some time with me. I'd love for you to stick around and subscribe. You want to join the family here. We do some pretty fun stuff over here. And if you are a returning subscriber, I'm so thankful and appreciative of all of your constant support for just being here with me and making this platform so exciting and so enjoyable. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. So let's get into this video. Okay, so like I said in my intro, we are going to be looking and reviewing at the Age Perfect Creamy Powder Foundation by L'Oreal. I have mine in the shade 340, which is caramel beige, and this is not a first impression because I definitely have worn this. I've worn this once on itself, so I have some thoughts. But reading from the L'Oreal website, it says that this is formulated with a ceramide antioxidant complex and minerals. It blurs pores and lines and keeps skin hydrated with a shine-free finish, and it evens tones and provides natural coverage that won't cake or settle into fine lines. It does come in 16 shades, and it retails for $15.99, or that's on the L'Oreal website, or when I got it from Walmart, it was $11.97. And then it comes with 0.31 ounces or 9 grams of powder. Now, when I first wore this on its own, I did use the sponge applicator that came with it, and I felt like the powder was sticking to parts of my face and didn't really blend too well because I had just put my primer on like a few seconds prior. And I will say, I am new to this whole powder foundation thing. I normally don't ever wear powder foundation alone. I just stick with liquids or creams. So I think that I needed to let my primer sink into the skin first and then apply this. So I applied my primer and then I did my brows. So I feel like I've had enough time to allow for this primer to sink into my skin before applying this. I do want to add concealer, so let me add the concealer and then we can go in with the powder. Okay, so I did go in with the NYX Born to Glow Radiant Concealer, and I have mine in the shade 10.3 Natural Buff. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the powder foundation. I'm not gonna use the sponge applicator because I really didn't like it. I usually don't like it, but I just, decided to give it a try. So I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. powder sponge. It's the flat top kabuki one. And let's see if that makes a difference. So there is some kick up with the powder foundation, and I'm just gonna press this into my skin first and then blend it out. And I'm gonna start with this side so we can actually try and compare the coverage. Okay, so this is what the powder foundation looks like on this side of my face compared to this side of my face with nothing on it. And okay, I think we have some coverage here. What do you guys think? But I will say there's definitely coverage there. Like I can, I feel like I can see it for sure. And it definitely is not sticking to my face anymore. So I think letting the primer sink in definitely helped a lot. Because at first I was having like patches of the foundation across my cheeks where I had applied the primer. I'm gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder just to kind of set my under eye. All right, so I think this is okay. What do you guys think? In terms of like blurring my pores and fine lines, I do think it actually does kind of blur my fine lines. I've got a more noticeable one here and a couple of them here. And I don't feel like they're standing out. So I would say that my pores, I don't know about blurring my pores. I use my pore filling primer and my pores look the same basically as they did with the primer. It's not like I feel like they're blurred even more. Maybe I would need to try this without my pore filling primer to see, you know, if it blurs the pores. But I do think it did smooth over my fine lines. I don't feel like it's sticking anywhere on my face. I think it's okay. You guys know I like a more illuminated base. So I'm just kind of like, okay. So I'm going to apply the rest of my makeup and then I will come back to show you all what everything looks like on my face. Okay, so this is what everything looks like on top of the powder foundation. And I just feel okay about it so far. I'm just being really honest. I did use the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Spray after I applied all my makeup because I just felt like I was really matte. And I don't like a really matte look. This sheen that you see here is strictly from my shimmer blush and my highlight. But I don't know. I feel okay. That's all I can say right now. I think, you know, my face looks okay. I don't think it looks like cakey, or I don't think my skin looks necessarily dry. I just don't feel like it looks as refreshed as I would like for it to look. So those are my thoughts for now. You guys tell me what you see. Tell me your thoughts so far in the video of what you think it looks like. Like I said, I am pretty much a novice to powder foundations, so I don't know if this is the normal look, and I'm just not used to it. So yeah, I'll check back in at the end of the day and I'll give you my final thoughts. So okay guys, we are back. It is the end of the day and let's see, it is currently 6:59. I put this foundation on around 6:30. So we've definitely have had this foundation on for over 12 hours. And let me bring you in so you can see what it's looking like. So here we go. Let me get up so you can see my face. I definitely did have to blot today because I felt like I was producing too much oil around this area of my face, kind of where you see the dew now. I did use the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. I only used 3 sprays and only 1 spray was right here. So yes, that is a dewy skin mist, but I didn't use a lot and only 1 was here. So this, I would say, it's more so my oils, especially because I did already blot. So key points here. This is not a overly matte powder because I feel like if it was overly matte, then I wouldn't have needed to powder. I don't feel like my oils would have come through. If you wear a lot of powder foundations, please let me know if I'm wrong. Like I told y'all in the beginning of this video, I've never worn a powder foundation. I'm not familiar with them. So I don't know if it's normal for your oils to come through like this. I would expect your oils to come through, but maybe just not like this, which I think does attribute to the claim that it is a creamy powder foundation. With that said, I do not recommend this as a powder foundation for me. And here's why. Yes, my oils have come through. I feel like I do have like a little bit of luminosity to my face, but I just don't like it. Like, I just expect more from my foundations. I am a foundation junkie. It's what I love. it's like the one thing in makeup that I always go to first. And so I have a lot of expectations for my foundations, and I just feel like it just didn't do what I wanted it to do. In terms of, I didn't like the initial application, and it was simply because I didn't have that luminosity that I like to have with my skin. And in the beginning, when my oils start to come through, it looked okay. And I was like, okay, maybe this is not bad. Maybe I just have to give it a, an hour or so to allow for my oils to come through. But I do feel like it did break apart. So I do have like a couple of acne bumps here. I feel like you can see them. There's redness here, which I feel like is a sign that it has worn off right here. And now I just feel like, I don't know, I just don't like the way that this looks. And yeah, so what I would recommend it as, I would recommend this as a good maybe topper, like powder topper to your liquid foundation. If you do have dry skin and you want to set your liquid foundation with a powder, but you don't want to use a powder that is extremely mattifying, I think this powder would be good for that, because I don't think that this is overly matte, and it does allow for your oils to come through and not make your face look dry and cakey or anything like that. Like, I don't feel like my face looks cakey. I just feel like it's worn off, and I just don't like it alone. I don't know if I would even recommend it for you unless you're very familiar with powder foundations and you're just like, yep, this is the type of foundation that I like to go for, or this is the type of powder foundation I like to go for. Then yeah, I mean, I think it definitely held up to the claim of being creamy, like not drying. In terms of like my fine lines, it didn't settle into my fine lines. And in terms of my pores, like I don't feel like my pores look accentuated even with my oils right there, so that's good. Yes, I did wear a pore filling primer, but I feel like if something's gonna exaggerate your pores, it'll still do that even if you have a pore filling primer on, especially if the product is just not good. So I don't think this is a bad product. I just don't think this is a good product for me for what it is marketed as. So if I were to continue using this, I would just use this to set my liquid foundation, just use a light amount, and I think that would be fine. Because when I did that in my initial review of all of the products that I purchased, I liked it. I was like, okay, it's not bad. But on its own, when I did touch this up in the middle of the day, it did touch up well. Well, I didn't touch it up. When I blotted my face, I'll say that. When I blotted my face in the middle of the day, it did look nice again. It didn't look like foundation had worn off, and I don't feel like when I blotted, I took off too much of the powder. So I will say that. And then I did eat. So, some of this wearing away is probably because I did eat. So I do want to put that out there as well. But I just feel like overall, this is not a foundation that I need in my life as a foundation. So those are my final thoughts. Let me know what you all think of it in the comments down below. I love hearing your thoughts, and that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye guys.